Jared Polin, FroKnowsPhoto.com, and this is a review of the GoPro Hero 3 Black Edition. Now, I've had this camera for a couple of months. I've taken it to Aruba. I've swam in the ocean. I've done jumps. I've done some extreme stuff, some not so extreme stuff, and I've tested this camera out fully. I'm really happy with the results that I've gotten from it, but I've learned a ton. There's a lot of accessories. The app for the camera is pretty cool. There's things I like, there's things I don't like, and then there's a reason to either buy it or not to buy it, because it is not for everybody. What you have to remember, and I'm just going to jump to this right at the beginning, and also you're going to see sample video and a fully edited video and all of that coming up later, but I want to say the first thing is, if you are going to shoot video, and with something like this, the video is nothing unless it's edited properly, unless somebody knows what they're doing with the editing. You could have 32 gigs worth of footage and end up, that's say an hour worth of footage, which is actually an hour worth of footage is less than 32 gigs. It's about, I think it's 16 gigs or so. You're going to end up with a video that ends up being 30 seconds, 15 seconds, under a minute. So you are shooting a ton of footage just to be able to get something edited together to be presentable and good. So unless you are a master editor, or you know somebody who's a great editor, the footage that you get may be great coming out of the camera, but unless you know what you're doing with it in the computer, you may not get the results that a lot of people get with it. So the newer camera, the GoPro Hero 3 Black Edition, is the one I recommend getting. They have the lower ends ones, like $199, $299, and this is $399, right? I think it's $399. I would go with the top one. This has the Wi-Fi built in. You can use the app on the phone. Let's just talk about that app real quick. The app is fantastic. You hit this button over here, it starts blinking blue in the front. That means that it turns on the Wi-Fi. That means that I can go through the Wi-Fi network on my phone, my iPhone or iPad, and I believe there's one for Android, and you can activate, turn on the camera, control all of the settings. Set it to 24 frames, set it to 60 frames, set it to 4K resolution, 2.6. You can make all the changes right there. You can even preview what this camera sees. So if you put it up in the rafters here, or at a concert, or somewhere where you're not going to be able to get to it, you can leave it blinking in the blue mode, which is the Wi-Fi mode, without even turning it on, and when you're ready to shoot, you turn it on and you can see the preview and make sure it's ready to go. You can hit record and you are good to start to get that video you're looking to get. I love the app. Now, it's like a 5 or 6 second delay from the time you move it, but once it's set, I turn off the Wi-Fi to save battery power, because let's talk about the battery power. The battery sucks. I have 2 batteries. You're getting about 40-ish, 45 minutes continuing, maybe an hour if you can squeeze it out of there. I guess a lot depends on the frame rate that you're shooting. If you're shooting higher frame rates, I'm sure the camera's working harder. I don't know that for a fact. That just seems to make sense to me. But these little batteries, the funny thing is, it had this tab. I almost ripped the tab off. I thought that it came and you were supposed to take the tab off. But the battery goes into the back here, and you get about 45 minutes out of it, and that's really, really bad. You can buy an extra accessory, and the name of the game with GoPro, where they make their money, is in accessories. Everything is an add-on. Now, it comes with the underwater housing, the action housing, which I took off and seem to have misplaced in the move. I have to find where I put it. I don't use that a lot, but I used it underwater in Aruba, as you'll see in some of the videos. What you can get for a battery, you can get the backpack, which allows you to get double the battery power. Or what I have here is a thing that I use to charge my phone. It's from Monoprice. It has 2 USB. You can plug your iPhone and things like that into there. So if you plug in your USB cable and you plug it into the side of the camera, you can now continuously use it as long as this is supplying the power. So if you're going to put it up in the rafters, connect it to one of these things and you're going to be fine with batteries. But it's just something extra that you have to spend more money on. But I'd get a bunch of these bad boys. They charge my phone up like 3 times before being dead, and that's the iPhone 5. So that's good to have a continuous power source if you're doing that. It now uses the micro SD cards, which are small. Do not drop them. Do not put them somewhere. You will lose them. Speaking of losing things, the door that goes on the side of the camera should be attached. It should swing out of the way, but it doesn't, so you'll lose it. Boom. So I put this, I have the 64 gig card in here right now. I think you get over 3 hours of recording on that, depending on the mode that you are using. The 4K mode is not something I'll use right now. The high speed, the 60 frames a second at 1080 is, I could use that. I'm using this camera to record my podcasts because I want to show you guys the podcast. Now, how do you get audio into this camera? Well, there's an accessory for that. You plug in, it's a USB, boom, to the phono, the 1/4 inch or whatever they call it. This plugs in right here. And then I run from a soundboard, which has all the microphones coming into it, right into this camera, so that the audio coming into the soundboard is going to be the same in here. Now the microphone in here is fine. It's not the greatest thing in the world, but do you expect it to be the best thing in the world coming out of such a small camera? I've seen people complain about concert videos. Oh, the sound is horrible. You know what? The sound isn't that bad at concert videos. I really think it's done a great job in my first-person shooter videos, where this sits on top of my camera. And I'm sure you're wondering, how do you attach it to the top of the camera, Jared? Well, there's a thing called the frame. Now, I think the GoPro should come with the frame. Now, this is new for the GoPro Hero 3 editions. Basically, it takes it out of the shell, the hard plastic, which has the piece of glass in front of the lens, so you have an extra piece of glass there. That protects the camera. That's good if you're motorbiking, motor scootering, or doing anything that's extreme in the water, where there's any chance of some action. I like using the frame because I'm not really partaking in too much action with what I'm using this camera for. I've had people yell at me and say, Jared, you're using the camera wrong. It's meant for an action camera. But you know what? I use it differently. I'm not here to use it for an action camera. I'm using it as a C camera, instead of the A camera, the main camera, or the side camera. I'm using it as an extra camera for me from a different angle. So that's what I like about this. So what do we have? We have the frame here. It's another $40 to get this frame, but it's well worth it for me. You use the simple accessories that it comes with. Oh, actually it doesn't come with everything you need. I bought the hot shoe thing. I think that's $7.99. That allows me to connect it to, say, a tripod. But what if you want to connect it to the top of your camera like I do for my first-person shooter project? You need to get one of these bad boys. It spins like this, so it's a cold shoe adapter that slides into the cold shoe, and then the top portion screws right here into the hot shoe mount, into the tripod mount, and you're good to go right there. You can control the camera here by hitting the record button. You have the Wi-Fi button on the side. You also have an opening on the side to allow you to plug in the USB cable so that you can use it with the microphone attachment, or you could use it with the battery pack right here. I wish you could take the card out, because every time you want to take the card out, or you don't have to take the card out because you can plug it in USB right into the computer and transfer the files from there. The menu system. If you're going to change the menu system, I recommend you use the app on the phone. It's just so much easier, or the iPad, because you turn it on, you hold down this button, and you have to go through so many different menu options to get to different settings. You get used to it. You'll get much better at it the more that you do it. You'll start to know where each setting is. But one thing that is a pain in the ass is that the screen isn't backlit. If it was like Indiglow or something for night light so you could see it, that'd be awesome. But in the dark, you cannot read this monochrome screen at all, so you need to shine some light on it to see what you're doing, or use the iPhone or iPad app to see to change your settings. The problem with that is when you have the Wi-Fi on, you are using more battery power, so you get less time for recording from there. I'm still very happy with this. There are so many different options. You've got the wide shooting. You can do it a little more narrow. You can do it a little more tight. So the preview is so good that you can use with the iPad, with the app. I really love that function of this camera. For $399, it's an incredible camera, but expect to spend another $100 or so on accessories almost right on the bat. If you buy another battery, you're $20. If you buy the backpack, you're at $40. If you buy the frame, you're at another $40. You're spending another $100 to $150 in accessories. But if you're going to use this camera a lot, you're going to want those accessories, because you can attach this to helmets and chests, and there's so many different things you can do with the GoPro Hero 3 edition, Black Edition. I recommend that, like I said. The footage I got is incredibly good. Oh, Protune. You could shoot in Protune, which is kind of like shooting in RAW. It's their log format, which means it shoots it completely like zeroed out. The contrast isn't there. it allows you to change the file later using the free software that GoPro gives you. I love the fact that they give you a free software to process the files or the clips, even certain sections of the clips. But keep in mind, the bit rate goes up. So the files become larger, the bit rates are much higher, which is better if you're shooting professional stuff, but you have to tweak every file after the fact. You have to set, it's like shooting a RAW file, you have to make the changes later. So not only do you have to make the changes later, but you have to convert the file before you can do that, and then you have to export it. The thing I did wrong before was I converted the entire file, which took a while, instead of going through and finding the clips that I wanted to use. Because you can create clips, and that is a much quicker way to use the Protune thing. I stopped using the Protune, honestly, because I wanted to quickly turn this around and do less computer work, because I don't want to spend my time sitting around the computer processing and doing that with the files. So I think that the auto functions of this are very good. But if you're using it in a professional setting to do movies and videos, definitely shoot the Protune option that you have. I would highly recommend doing that to have the best quality file that you have. I know that the GoPro people do that themselves. They shoot with the highest quality when they're doing their sample videos, because they can do just some amazing color changes and things like that. So, you know, the light blinks when it's recording on the front, on the bottom, and on the side. I'm really happy with this camera. I recommend picking it up. You've got it at all the major camera stores. You can just do a search for it to see who has the best price at the time. And definitely consider the higher end one for the extra functions that it has built in. Better quality sensor, better low light capability, just better than the one right below it for $100 less. Spend the extra $100. The Wi-Fi is built into this one, it's built into the one right below this, but this has a better sensor, and I'm all about the better sensors for better low light capability and just the 4K option for the future. The 1080 at 60 frames a second. So coming up right now, you're gonna see the 30-second clip that was edited by my good friend Todd Wolf of Cheesesteak Media. He is incredible with editing. I handed him all this footage, and that is what he came up with. It's been viewed a ton of times because I just put up that video itself. So thank you guys for sticking around for this entire whole thing. And it's a lot of information to go over, but check out the 30 seconds. And then after that, I'm just going to let clips run that I captured, unedited clips that you guys can take a look at and decide for yourself if this is the right camera for you. But I'll leave you with the last thing again. Make sure that if you're going to shoot a lot of footage, you can back it up on things like Drobos, but that you have the capability of doing the editing. Because what makes the GoPro videos so incredible is the editing that you can do. So get it to a master editor, or if you're a great editor, by all means, go ahead and edit it yourself. So enjoy these videos coming up, and I'm going to do my sign out now so you can watch the edited video and the unedited videos from the GoPro Hero 3 Black Edition. Jared Polin, FroKnowsPhoto.com. See ya.
Jared Polin. Gotta hold my gum. Jared Polin, FroKnowsPhoto.com here in Aruba because I'm testing out the GoPro Hero 3, the Black Edition. Right now it's in its underwater housing, so if you see any dots in water, that's because it's in its underwater housing and it has some water from when I had to swim out to this thing on it. But here it is. Look at Aruba. This is where we're at the last couple days. It's pretty nice, and so what I've been doing over the past couple days is I've been doing jumps and swimming with this thing and running down the beach Baywatch style and doing this with my hair, but also I went scuba diving. No, I went snorkeling. I keep saying scuba when it's snorkel, but I want to go scuba snorkeling, snoobing. But anyway, so what I've done here is I've tested out this camera with 1080 at 60 frames a second. When I was snorkeling, we did it at 2.7K at 24 frames a second because I thought that would be the best to have the cinematic mode to give us the best results. So other than that, enjoy the review, see what we come up with, but that's it from Aruba. Well, no, it's not it from Aruba. You're gonna see more. But that's it for me. I'm gonna go do some more jumps and swimming and get my swimmies back on. All right, guys. Boom.
Oh God. Yep, go.
No, I just... No, you won't. We'll use this video. What? That's going.
Yeah.
We should run down the... You want to run? 3, 2, 1, go. Like, run? Here, I'm gonna go with you. Whoa. Closer. Street, closer.